to Brandon's Face, the podcast about a playlist. My name is Jonathan Beardsley, and today and every day I am joined by the one and only Brandon May. Brandon, how you doing, buddy?
I am fantastic, John. How are you?
I'm doing well. It was kind of a weird week musically, I'll say. I feel like we're in a bit of a lull after the almost meth-like high of Denzel Curry, Vince Staples, Pusha T, and Kendrick Lamar, but I'm still grateful to be here talking to you about music, man.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious how you know what meth feels like, but we'll get to that off the air.
Oh boy, yes. I'm not giving myself up, man. But before we get into it this week, please like, follow, subscribe wherever you're listening. You can find us on all major podcasting platforms. You can find us on social media at Instagram and Reddit, and you can find us on our own website at brandonsface.com, where we have some big stuff coming soon for you. So please keep checking back. Anything I'm missing?
No, you're not missing anything, man. As always.
I love it. All right, let's get right into this, man. So I threw the first one on this week. We have a new one from Easy Life featuring Kevin Abstract called Dear Miss Holloway. Did you like this?
Yeah, man, this is really funky. It's casual, but it's really well done. I really like Kevin's verse. Kevin is from Earth Gang? Am I wrong? Brockhampton.
Brockhampton, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a fucking jam, man. I love it. I think you're right. He delivers a great verse. That like Bone Thugs-ish 8-bar that he ends the verse on was a nice little touch. I just wish this track was longer. It leaves me wanting more. But thankfully, we will get more on August 12th when Easy Life's new album, Maybe in Another Life, drops. So that'll be a fun one.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got a new one you threw on here from the Interrupters called Anything Was Better. Tell me about this.
Are you a fan of the Interrupters? Is this your
never
first
heard
exposure?
Them before.
You've never
first
heard
exposure.
them before. All right.
Yep.
We found out about the Interrupters, I want to say about 2 years ago, and my wife and I just kind of fell in love with them. They've got this rancid vibe to them, and some of their stuff is actually produced by Tim Armstrong, the Grammy winner. I just love a lot of their music. Some of it's really meta, like it's about the band and their stuff, and it's punky. They've got a little bit of ska energy going in, and I love this stuff. What did you think about this?
I agree, man. Good song, great energy. I liked it. It's the type of angry feminist rock you'd hear in like 10 Things I Hate About You soundtrack. I love it.
Great
no
movie.
Complaints.
Great movie.
Great movie, great soundtrack. Do you have that on vinyl?
Oh man,
look up
you caught me slipping.
This episode's over.
You know what's funny, man, is I don't think I can buy any more vinyl records. I think our cabinet is capped out, and I'm kind of.
You need the drawers.
I got to build the drawers, man. I'm not spending $2,800 on drawers, but I'm definitely going to build some. So
you love a nice project.
Honestly, man, we do like projects, so I think it's going to be fun.
Can't wait to see it. All right. Moving on, we have another new one you threw on here from Brand of Sacrifice and Ryo Kinoshita called Demon King.
You probably pronounced that better than I would have. So
tried my best, man. Thank you. As Jeremy Jam would say, kudos on the pronunciation.
The reverb's the best part, man.
Can we just do a Parks and Rec pod, please? All right. What did you think of this? I know you loved it, but
Parks and Pod. Yeah, man, this is heavy as fuck, dude. One thing I really liked about this is I really like the vocal ranges, and that breakdown is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is heavy as fuck, almost overwhelmingly so, but kind of in a good way. It's a lot of blast beats over super guttural low growls and blood-curdling shrieks. Like, what's not to like?
Yeah, man, this is I struggle because I think that this is deathcore, but I kind of don't want to call it that.
Is it post-deathcore?
It's almost like gore grind instrumentals, but like that breakdown really makes it that core aspect, but everything else besides the breakdown is not very core to me. So
I'm
Kind
going
of
to defer to you on this. This is so far outside of my realm of expertise.
they're kind of straddling this fence here, John.
I can tell, but I think they ride the fence pretty well. This is a good
Yeah, they're
song.
doing it well. I'll tell you that.
All right, moving on. We have another one you threw on here from Niels Van Gogh called Moonwalk. It has been a while since I've painted with the colors of the harder style, Brandon. Oh boy, this was a trip.
If you were to give Drezzo a low carb monster, this is what would happen. Those
God damn
synths,
it, your line
bro.
was better than mine.
Those synths, dude. The 303 acid kind of squelching at the end, man. This is fucking cool. I have no idea who Niels Van Gogh is, but I definitely do now. So
Yeah, I agree. If this would have dropped 15 years ago, this would have been a monster.
right, like this
I
is
feel like it's going to
insane,
get
bro.
lost in the shuffle now, but hopefully it finds an audience somewhere.
Every DJ better drop this at every summer festival. That I mean, fuck, man. This is heavy. This is good.
It's a banger. It's a banger. All right. Speaking of bangers, let's move on to a new one from Rez and fucking Sid called Sweet Dreams Are Made of This. I guess it's a, I don't know, man. This is, what would you call it? 50% cover, 50% remix.
I would call this, I think, a rework.
I'm just gonna call it fucking awesome, man. I think she killed it. This is incredible. And you know I usually don't like this type of stuff. Are you on the same page as me?
Okay, so I saw you added this, and I was like, no way, no way they're gonna do this. Like that's so not Res, but oh my god, man! One thing I really liked about this is I loved that Res kind of did this interpretation of the melody with her like buzzsaw synths. Like that was so cool, man. That was so cool.
Yeah, she's a one of one. She just played here like a week or two ago, and I'm very bummed I didn't get to go.
Man, why didn't you go?
Um, that COVID be rising, dog.
It sure do. It sure be like that.
Yeah, it's funny. I think we went into the city to get some food and we were driving back this kind of weird way. And most shows I follow are at like the theaters or the Moda Center where the Portland Trailblazers play.
Yeah.
But we're driving back like this weird way and we drive by the Expo Center, which I'd never driven by. And like the sign just says Res. And I was like, oh shit.
No.
And then my wife was like, that's tonight. And I was like, oh no. And like we were like, dude, we went back and forth for a while because Rez said that she is not going to tour for a while after this, that she's been touring nonstop for too long and she just wants to buckle down and write and relax. So I think she's still going to do Res Rocks every year though. So I could always go to that.
Yeah, just hop a flight to Colorado.
You know what's crazy is since we started doing this podcast and I've started running our Instagram and following all these different artists that I never followed on social media before on one page, I'm seeing how many people play Red Rocks like
yeah, it's like a legit
night.
venue.
But like it's crazy how it's like Flume and then Russ and then like state champs the next night.
Yeah,
Like,
King Gizzard is playing Red Rocks, which is going to be a crazy show.
It's wild, man. You and I need to make that journey one day.
Honestly, I would absolutely love that, sir.
Let's talk about that sometime because I think that needs to happen.
There's another venue up in your neck of the woods that doesn't do shows quite as often as Red Rocks does, but the Gorge in Washington is also on my bucket list.
Yes, I live 2 minutes from the gorge.
You have 2 minutes from the Gorge?
Well, like from the physical gorge, like
Oh,
from,
okay.
not from the venue, the gorge, from the physical
like, my
gorge. All right, man. Let's move on. We got a new one here from Nonso Amadi and Majid Jordan called Different. Everything about this is working for me, man. I love it. Their voices sound great. And I usually don't like dancehall, but I really fuck with this track. What do you think? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
A thumbs up, bro. Thumbs up.
Okay, good.
I've really liked Majid Jordan. I don't know who Nonzo Amadi is. Are you familiar with them, or did you add this because of Majid?
I added it because of Majid, but Nonzo is the first person singing in the song. That's all I know.
Okay. Yeah, I like this a lot.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. it's rare that like voices go that well together on a collaboration. Good shit. Okay, very, very interested to talk to you about this next one. Calvin Harris released the first single off Funk Wave Bounces Volume 2,
Summer
Potion,
has begun.
with Dua Lipa and Young Thug. I'm going to give this one a massive thumbs down, my friend.
Really?
This song fucking sucks.
Okay. Dude. All right. All right.
I was a huge fan. I'll let you get into it, but I was a huge fan of 1. Been looking forward to 2. This is a miss for me. You feel differently?
I do. Here's why. The Dua Lipa and the Young Thug are whatever, but when you listen to Calvin Harris's portion of this song, which is obviously the production, I don't think this is what anybody really thought. I actually don't think that this song is going to be very popular. A lot of Calvin Harris's summer bangers, even including his album Summer, have been just bangers, right? They've been just bangers.
Sure.
They pushed EDM into the mainstream, you know, and you and I have always commiserated over the fact that he'll never release another Ready for the Weekend. This was disco, bro. If you go back and you ignore Dua Lipa and Young Thug, the production on this is beautiful.
I cannot ignore her saying sprinkle a little bit of sex in there like every 30 seconds, dude. It's the most try-hard lyrics I've heard in a while, dude. It sounds like they're trying so hard to make a hit, but don't have any genuine inspiration. Other than he's like, well, these are the instruments I used on Funkwave Volume 1. Like, I don't know, man. I'm glad you like it, and I think
no. I don't like the song. I like the production. I I've always struggled with Young Thug's music. In fact, I've been trying to like understand what. I'm trying to not be the old man that yells at the cloud about Young Thug, because apparently he's wildly popular. And so I'm trying to figure out what people like about him. People like that he's Young Thug. Like, that's it. And that's the same concept with Dua Lipa. I'm not a huge fan of Dua Lipa, but people like that she's Dua Lipa. And so you put both of them on a song, it's a certified fucking classic. Everybody listens to it at least once. And if everybody listens to it at least once, it's going to go platinum. So I understand the strategy with this, but on my end, I really tried to focus on the production. And let me tell you, bro, it's disco. It's not Calvin Harris. It's not Summer or whatever Calvin Harris. It's Ready for the Weekend Calvin Harris. And so I'm very interested to see more from what this project has to offer. This song was bad as a whole, but the production was fucking awesome.
I'll agree with that because I love the Funkwave style of production. I think that this is closer to Funkwave Volume 1 in terms of production than Ready for the Weekend or I Created Disco necessarily, but I think there is a lot of disco influence. I hope it's as good of an album as 1 was. I don't really know, man. I think that it just sounds like he tried to recreate Slide to me, and to get to the Young Thug of it all with this song, like when this was announced as a single a few days before it came out, like everyone on Twitter was joking like, oh, you're going to release a Young Thug feature after he just got arrested. Like, this must be a real banger for you to not even care about all that. And it's not, dude. I've heard this song 5-6 times. I can't tell you one word Young Thug says in it. I heard Compensating by Amine once. I knew the Daffy Duck line right away. I'll tell you that. It's a forgettable verse.
To be fair, I can't tell you one word Young Thug has said besides slat. So, like that. That's all I know, bro. That's
all right. Fair enough. I hope they freed the dog by now. Jesus Christ.
They got the dog.
Still no release date for Funkwave Volume 2. I think we'll get another single before we get the album, but hopefully it's better than this.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. We got fucking A. New one from Kanye and XXX's Sensione called True Love. Why? Again, I asked you why.
Is that what you're gonna call it? Is that how you're gonna pronounce his name? XXXtension? Because I'm pretty sure it's triple extension.
Sure.
It's kind of like 6-lack, right?
I'm gonna read it the way that Siri would read it, my friend. Because that's how these names should be treated. It's just God, you hated this, right? This is terrible.
Okay, this is so weird, man. Somebody needs to tell Ye to relax. Oh wait, everybody already has done this?
Dude, man, I wonder how much you paid for this one line of a fucking song to be sampled. Like, it's so repetitive. I listened to this twice and I was like, I think I've gotten all I'm going to get from this. I can't do it, man. This is horrible. I don't know who was clamoring for this, but I hope they're
A lot
happy.
of people are. A lot of people like this. Now, I will say I never really like dove head first into triple extensions music, but I do actually like the majority of the stuff I have heard from him, and it actually did. And I know all of this is posthumous, but I decided to kind of dive in, and I don't mind a lot of his music from this side of hip hop, and yeah, I don't know. Ye is just. Can we talk about how the fact that what we're hearing and seeing with Kanye West is probably one of the most public breakdowns we've ever seen in
Oh
popular
yeah.
culture?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, no, this is like Britney '07. This is bad.
it's
This is
bad.
bad.
It's really
Yeah.
bad, bro.
Uh, it's crazy though because I think you and I are alone in thinking that Donda is bad as well. Like people are gassing him up as much as they're telling him that he needs to calm down when we're like, no, this is just nonsense as well. Like you're not even making good art.
You know,
People are still telling him he's great.
I thought that his EP Yay was kind of cathartic, and he was going to be able to kind of release some of these negative emotions. Today, I thought about killing you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really thought that that was going to be healing from him, and he just nosedived into a lot worse. So,
Pete Davidson will do that to you.
you know, if anybody voted for him for president, please comment below. I'd love to have a conversation with you.
Don't take the bait, people. Please do not take the bait. All right, man, let's move on to some much better vibes. We got a new one from Bad Bunny called Moscow Mule. So I finally got around to checking out his newest album about a week ago, and I thought it was really good. I will not make you listen to it all because it's like almost an hour and a half, but I figured I'd throw my favorite song on. It's a banger, should be up there with like About Damn Time in terms of top songs of the summer. Did you love this?
Yeah, absolutely. I love this. And I wish that I knew more about the lyrical content because you know that I really resonate with lyrical content. But I'm sure it's decent. And I can totally see why this guy is one of the largest artists in the world.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. The numbers on this album just keep blowing me away every time I look. It's insane. But yeah, like you said, I think this is one of the first times I've listened to not a feature of his, but like a song of his. And I get it. It's really good. It's really
Right.
fucking good.
Yeah, it's
And I don't
great.
even know what he's saying. All right, man. Let's move on to this Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On Flight Facilities remix. Were you expecting this?
So I have to jump in, John. Last week we talked about songs that didn't really need to be remixed. And
Mm-hmm.
this song has been sampled and it's been played for a long fucking time. And don't get me wrong, Marvin Gaye is a legend, right? I own, I think, a handful of his vinyl records. Like he's just a beautiful musician. When I saw this remix pop up, I thought to myself, do we really need this? Like, did we really need Flight Facilities to remix this? Oh my God, we needed this.
Yeah.
This is
Yes. Of course
incredible,
we
John.
needed it. Yeah, this is up there with like the SG Lewis More Than a Woman remix. Like it's perfect.
Yeah,
They
man.
did the right amount of not doing too much, and that's why it works. They killed it, man. They kept the integrity of the original. They played with it a little bit to make it a little more fun but still recognizable. I think they understood the assignment, as the kids would say.
Yeah, this is great, man. I really enjoyed this.
Me too, man. And I think they've even dropped a few remixes that we've missed, honestly. They've been really busy this year. I'm happy they're fucking so active again.
Yeah, man.
And I don't know that they've ever dropped anything from the Never Forever mixtape either. So that's pretty crazy.
Interesting.
How much music they have just lying around from what, 8 years away. It's pretty
Yep.
crazy. Okay, let's move on to this. I guess I'm just gonna call this a single from Matt Lange. It's From the Inside Out and Less is More, but I would say From the Inside Out is just an intro to Less is More. Would you
Yeah,
agree?
that's exactly what I thought and why I added both of them.
All right, I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
I mean, there's not really much to say except for that this man apparently knows how to speak directly to my soul. I don't know, man. These two tracks are fucking awesome. The intro into, I mean, it's great. I love this music.
So I had a pretty negative experience with the song until I listened to it on really good speakers. I was
I
like,
see.
I was like, this isn't doing much for me. And I was bumping it at work the other day and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I think I still like Ordinary Love. I think that's still probably my favorite song he's dropped this year. This is a much needed improvement over the last two releases he's put out. So I enjoyed this one.
Neat.
Okay, let's talk about some totally enormous extinct dinosaurs. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so I saw he'd started releasing some new music, and I threw these three new songs: Blood in the Snow, Crosswalk, and The Sleeper on. Have you ever heard his solo music?
Yes, actually, a bunch of times. I've actually seen Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs back when
Oh,
he was
when?
on Boys Noise Records, I think, and it was 2015, Hard Summer.
Wow, I did not know that. That's fucking crazy. See, I'm only familiar with him as a vocalist for the most part. I remember hearing him on Dylan Francis Without You way back in the day,
Yep.
and he was on the most recent Porter album, I think on Unfold. So I've heard his voice quite a few times. What did you think of these songs?
All right. So, Blood in the Snow is fucking great. Um, it's kind of Matt Lange adjacent. I don't know if it was because I was listening to it right after Matt Lange, but Blood in the Snow is really good. Crosswalk is just ethereal, man. I love the vocal textures and the kind of droning synth line. The bass line is great. Why I'm struggling to understand why I didn't why I wasn't following Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs on Spotify.
Same, same.
The sleeper is actually my least favorite of the singles, but that's kind of saying something because it's still very good.
Dude, we are 1000% in agreement. The Sleeper is the one that hooked me. That's the first of these three that I heard. I was not following Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs on anything, and Maddion on Twitter when the Sleeper dropped just like shared it, and I was like, okay, I'll check that out. Like, I figure Maddion has pretty good taste. And right when that like keytar bridge thing dropped, I was like, well, I get why Maddion likes this. and and I was like hooked, man. And so when I went to the page, I saw the other songs. I was like, I'm throwing them on. His new album is called When the Lights Go, and that comes out July 22nd. That should be fun, man. I thought all three of these were creative, but The Sleeper really blew me away.
Yeah, man, that was it was pretty cool, man. All three of these are pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
And I'm just looking at the Hard Summer 2015 lineup. I did not see a live set from him. I did just see a DJ set. I think
I
that
didn't know he
matters.
did DJ sets.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think
So he must produce and do vocals on his own stuff.
yeah, I think he was doing a couple of things on Boys Noise Records and was there for the BNR 10-year anniversary. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember him. I remember seeing Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs in that tent that day because he played. I think it was almost. It might have been like right before Boys Noise. I could be wrong, but I remember seeing him at that festival.
Go on to lostconnections.com, see if anybody else remembers this.
Nobody does.
God, what a website. I need to research that one day.
We'll
All
leave the
right,
link in the show notes.
please. Okay, let's move on to this one that I almost missed. I'm not gonna lie, I did not see you through this on here until yesterday. A new one from Foles called 2001. This is groovy, man. I really like it.
Yeah, I've liked every single one of their singles so far, and I'm here for it. I'm ready for the album. It's going to be good.
You're ready for the album because the fucking rollout for it's been 10 goddamn years long.
Forever.
We're gonna get that Joywave album one day.
You know what, man? I almost added it. I almost added. There was like a couple of other remixes of Every Window is a Mirror, and I was like, John would fucking hate me if I added these.
Nobody's stopping Eiffel 65. Just fucking stop trying. Get out of
Oh
here.
man, I think that might go down in history as one of the most remixed songs at this point.
God, it's
Like,
gotta
like,
be.
which is annoying because it's that song, but
Gonna get the Gaspard and Victor Lamont's remix of it now. All right. Let's move on to the last EP we have before we get into the albums. This is Based Justicia EP. What are these three songs did we cover already?
Creature, I believe.
That's not one of these songs.
Got it. I might have omitted it then because we just covered it
Oh,
last
okay.
week.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, you did not. I was gonna say I know we covered a song of theirs, but none of these ones sounded familiar, so it's kind of weird. I'm gonna go first on this one if you don't mind.
Please.
I thought that all three of these tracks were really good, and I really liked that each one had something different to love about it. Justicia with those southern metal riffs, Ecclesia, I think I'm pronouncing that right, with that solo over the bridge, and Gargoyles featuring Travis Strand, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, rest in peace, from the Black Dahlia Murder, which I just think is a fucking total masterpiece of a song. I really enjoyed this one. Thanks for adding it, man.
Yeah, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I was actually kind of like expecting generic for some reason. I don't know, but these guys can fucking get it. Like this is great, man. There's inventive riffs. The riffs, the vocals are really good. It's good metal, man. I'm gonna be following these guys from now on.
Yeah, it's really good metal. And I was not expect like I think I was kind of on the same wavelength you were, but like midway through the first song, man, they'd won me over. I was like, I'm on board.
Yeah, this was really good. I was very pleasantly surprised at how many times I listened to this EP over the last couple of weeks or the last
See that,
week.
people? You hang out with Brandon, you will find a new metal band you like because he will not stop showing you them until you find one you like.
I promise.
All right, let's move on to these albums. First up, we got Liam Gallagher with his new album, Come On You Know. You want to go first on this one or me?
I can go first, man. I was
Please.
not expecting this album to be this good for some reason. It really reminded me, obviously, of a really polished Oasis album, but there's a lot of technical ability being shown. There's a lot of blues, there's a lot of jazz elements, which I appreciated. That
Mm-hmm.
little jazzy sax that's thrown in every once in a while. I think Liam really went through his influences and decided to make a really good rock album. And that's exactly what this is. This is an homage to the greats. I'll probably be revisiting this album because it is very good. It's not, I don't know if it's top, top quality or end of the year quality, but I gave it a 7. My standout was Everything's Electric. I really liked this album, man. What did you think about it?
I thought the album was good, man. I've never heard a solo album of his before this, so I'm not
Me
sure how
neither.
it compares to his other work. Okay, good. Okay. But yeah, I thought it was good. He's still a great singer and songwriter, and he still has a lot to say. I think that the album starts on an incredibly strong note with more power and goes into Diamond in the Dark. And I think that's just a killer 1-2 punch. But he keeps the momentum going with Don't Go Halfway and the title track, Come On You Know. But I kind of started to lose interest a little bit around Too Good for Giving Up and It Was Not Meant to Be. Those are like the just kind of overly serious, a little bit boring tracks of his that I don't really like. And I don't know, man. I feel like I'm torn on this one. I do think it's objectively good. I'm able to get back into it a little bit when Everything's Electric comes on, and I think that Better Days is probably one of the better songs on the album, but the rest of the tracks really didn't do much for me. Overall, though, I liked this album more than I thought I would. I ended up giving it a 6 out of 10, and More Power was my favorite.
More Power is a very good song.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like an Oasis song.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, drawing that line is very hard to do when listening to this, I found.
Yeah. Because obviously his voice is, it's the voice from Oasis. So it's hard to draw any line really, except for when it comes to the instrumentals. And I don't recall, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but Oasis has almost zero saxophones in their music. So
Correct. Yeah, this one was a good one lyrically though too. I found some of his like he just has that ability to say something so simple and you're like, God damn it, how has nobody ever said this in a song exactly like this before him?
right,
Like what's that one line in More Power? You won't get the girl you want, but you'll get the girl you need line. Like he's
hey,
just so concise, man. That's what I love about his music. It's concise, but I was still hoping for a little bit more. Like you said, I don't think this is going to make a dent in any of our end of year playlists.
neat man. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it too.
All right, let's move on to this one you threw on here. Hollow Front's new album, The Price of Dreaming. So tell me about this band. Tell me about this album.
So I had never heard of this band, and the metalcore subreddit was pretty excited about it. And turns out this band is fairly popular. I had never heard of them, but this album is pretty neat. When it comes to metalcore, though, I think it's a little safe. We reviewed that Born of Osiris album last year that really kind of blew me away. And this album reminded me of that album in a way, but they really just made a metalcore album that doesn't have many frills. Not to say that there aren't any thrills, though. This album is filled with great choruses, great breakdowns, and some really good riffs. The vocals are good, too. And I think you and I both know that the hero of this album are the drums. There are insane drum fills. The intros are brought together by drums in a lot of ways. I really kept coming with back to this album because of how good the drums are. They really tie the room together, if you will, and made me enjoy it more than I think I would have without all of the really inventive drumming. I gave it a 6. My standout was Treading Water, just because of how fucking relentless those drums are on that one.
Yeah, man, I this was a fun listen. This was my first time hearing them. They remind me of the type of band I would have found on MySpace at like 7 p.m. on a Thursday night when I was supposed to be doing my homework.
Yep.
This is metalcore?
Yes.
Okay. I've always just called this scene metal. I guess it has
Which
a name.
you'd also be correct.
Yeah, this is definitely like a throwback to that pre 2010s type of scene metal, though. They balance the clean vocals and the screaming really well. And like you said, man, the drums are what moved this album. Every instrument's played well, the vocals are all done well, but it's the drums that really move this one forward. I
Yep.
also gave this one a 6 out of 10. Better Off was my standout. I
Better
think
Off
that
is a good
song
song.
fucking shreds.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff, man. I look forward to seeing where they go from here. I think this is what their third album.
Yeah, something like that. I think I'm going to kind of explore this genre a little bit. I think something I'm guilty of is that I have, like you said, you call this scene metal. I kind of stopped listening to metalcore when the greats were released, right? So like
Sure.
nobody's ever going to make a better metalcore album in my opinion than like End of Heartache, right? And so I kind of just stopped, but like there's been bands that have followed that lead forever and since then rather, and I think a lot of them are worth listening to, and I may throw a couple on, even maybe some old albums that I found because I think I want to explore this genre a little bit.
Fuck yeah, man. Let's do it. What better time than now? What better place than here?
Ha ha! Boom. That's
All right,
deathcore,
man.
but I get you. I got you.
I know. I know. All right, man. Let's move on to this one you threw on here from Deserta called Every Moment, Everything You Need. You a big shoegaze fan now, huh?
Are you gonna call this shoegaze? Because
This is
I
shoegaze, man.
are you
Those
sure?
drums, that shoegaze. Whatever
Okay.
that drum sound is and Lost in the Weight, like the way it's mixed to where it's all kind of homogenous. The cymbals are mixed at the same level as like the snare and everything. I call that shoegaze.
You know, I actually looked into shoegaze a little bit and determined that the origin of the name shoegaze came from the guitarists of bands who constantly use guitar pedals and the filters and the distortions and the blending all with the pedals. A lot of these bands while on stage are just constantly looking at the pedals, and it makes it look like they're looking at their shoes, hence shoegaze, which I thought was wildly interesting.
That makes so much sense,
I
but
thought it
does
was
not
interesting, right?
explain why all the drums in every shoegaze song sound the fucking same to me. So maybe one of them will answer that too.
There's got to be like a handful of producers that'll even touch shoegaze at this point, so like maybe that's it, but
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. I lurked your albums to add on a slow week a few weeks ago, and I knew that this one would be coming at some point. So I'm sure you have some thoughts built up on it. What do you have to say?
I'm about to make that shit private. This is a neat little shoegazy post-rock record that I just kind of wanted to share with you. It reminds me a little bit of Mogwai, which I know you're not a huge fan of, but I felt the need to add some ethereal, kind of atmospheric rock music to the playlist to either change your mind or to annoy the shit out of you. I enjoyed this, and I'm going to be following Deserta to see what else they release in the coming years. I didn't think that it was seminal or perfect in any sort of way. I actually gave it a 6 out of 10, and my standout was I'm So Tired. But I found this small little band and decided John needs to hear it. What did you think about it? Because that's the kicker here.
Oh, you annoyed the shit out of me for sure. No, you didn't annoy me, man. I think that after my brief Paranol phase last year, I just haven't been able to get back into this sound. And everything in the genre just started sounding the same to me. And I've already touched on the drums, so I won't go down that road. You know what it is? This is lo-fi for indie kids. That's what shoegaze is to me. And I'm not mad at it. It's just not really for me, I don't think. I did enjoy some of this album, though. I thought that It's All a Memory was really good. It's not an album I'll be coming back to, though. I gave it a 4 out of 10.
No, that's super fair. I think one of the things that I really enjoy about music is that, do you remember on MySpace when you would look at bands and you'd be like, oh shit, they have like only 300 friends? And you were like the first person to ever hear this music. This band only has 22,000 listeners on Spotify. And it almost makes you feel like, oh shit, like, do these guys deserve to be listened to? And one of those, sometimes yes, sometimes no. I think if you look back at last week, Digital Carbs, definitely. This band, maybe. It's one of those things where it's like, okay, I'm gonna follow to just like see if I like it, but we'll kind of see, you know.
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't think it was for me.
Fair. No, that's super fair. You're still digging all that Paranol though, right?
I like that album, the album from last year. The I can't remember the blue
with
one.
The clouds.
Yes, the blue one with the clouds. I'm a 5-year-old. Explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. All right, man. Let's move on. So I threw this new album from UMI on here called Forest in the City. So I'll go first on it. She dropped a song in 2018 called Remember Me that I'm a really big fan of, but I have not kept up with her career much since then. This is her debut album, and I think her voice sounds great, but overall, this album is pretty boring. And so I'm sure this did to you what Deserta did to me a little bit. I think that there's some promising songs on here, like Sorry, Say I'm Your Love was really fucking good, and I really liked Wish That I Could. But for my personal taste, there were just more lows than highs. Again, not an album I'll be revisiting, but I will definitely check out whatever she releases next. I gave this one a 5 out of 10. Say I'm Your Love was easily my favorite. How did you feel about this?
So Say I'm Your Love is my standout. I gave it a 4. I want to just put those out there. This is not the R&B style that I love. Here's one thing I will give this album. It is approachable. The production is pretty good. It's just kind of formulaic R&B, and
yeah,
that's not my jam. It's not for me.
Yeah, we just reviewed an LMA album, which is like taking a bath with like a CBD bath bomb and like candles and a jacuzzi tub, and this is kind of just like a quick shower, which they both have their place. It's just one's a little more enjoyable than the other.
I really liked that analogy.
Thank you. That was off the cuff.
I really liked that analogy, man. Everybody knows your references are out of control, bro.
Sick reference, bro. Sick reference. Weed is tight. Weed is tight. All right, man. Let's close this week out. We got this one I threw on here from Black Thought, Streams of Thought Volume 2. It was another slow week, so I figured I'd throw Volume 2 on here. I don't imagine you're going to have too many new thoughts, but this one's a little different in that it's produced entirely by Salam Remy. And I think lyrically kind of a little more conceptual than the first. What were your thoughts on it?
All right, I'm pretty sure this is the best rapper alive.
Yeah, no, he
Like,
really
I'm
is.
pretty sure this is the best rapper out there. I know that he doesn't have the catalog to go up against like Nas and M and Hove, but holy shit, man, this man speaks truth. And he does it so eloquently that you can't really help but be kind of sucked into the world that he creates. The beats are laid back, they're jazzy, they're classic hip hop, and it kind of just helps put the lyrics at the forefront. I am absolutely flabbergasted at the fact that I'm just now learning about Black Thought. I'm just blown away at his lyrical content and his execution of his bars, man. The freestyle that we talked about last week is obviously fucking awesome, but I think his recorded music has insane forethought, and the way that he spits is just, it's just special, man. There's no way to put it. My standout was fentanyl. If anybody's listening, please test your drugs. I don't care if you do drugs, test them. I gave this a 9.
Fucking A, man. I like that. Very concise, pretty much what I thought you would feel. Fentanyl, every time I hear it, I'm like, this is just unreal. Like his his skill level is just so far beyond most of what you hear. And like you said, it's just kind of hard to fathom how you and most people just don't even know he's a solo artist, don't know his history as being the main vocalist of the Roots. And it's crazy when you hear songs like Fentanyl or History Unfolds and you're like, why is this guy not like celebrated as the greatest rapper of all time?
Right. Like, how is this guy not insanely famous? Yeah, man, fentanyl is just an insane way to open an album.
So after hearing the freestyle, I don't know, like the kind of mixtape nature of this album, do you kind of like picture him rapping when you hear him rapping?
Yes. I picture him sweating in that silly little fucking hat, and he's just
Flex
killing
looking
it
at him
constantly.
Yeah,
Flex just
so
like
good.
staring at the camera with his bug eyes, like, the fuck did I just hear come out of this guy's mouth? Yeah, this is hip hop at its best. This is rap music, bro. Like, I don't know how else to describe it, dude. I'm pretty sure he's the best. Like, Eminem is insane. Eminem just released his 20th anniversary of the Eminem Show, which I personally think is his best album of all time. And that album really sees him kind of come into his flow and like really kind of put all of the pieces from the Slim Shady LP and the Marshall Mathers LP kind of together. You've got songs like Soldier, Until I Collapse, that are just obviously iconic.
Yeah.
But this album puts it to shame.
Just the way
it does,
through.
man. The way he slices through it, the way he maybe you have a better word for this. I know that there's a word for it, but the way that he'll combine and rhyme the last line of a bar to the second word in the next bar, and then create a new rhyme from the next bar, is there a word for that?
I don't know if multisyllabic is the right word for that, but you can definitely get into style and technique on like Wikipedia, and they break stuff down with like the legends like Jay-Z. They don't really do it with like Black Thought so much, but you can read and find out the terminology for that. I'm not too well versed in it, but you're right. Like, he doesn't always rhyme exactly where you think he's going to rhyme or how he's going to rhyme. And you don't even realize he's changed the like melody until he's on the second or third bar sometimes. Like,
which is
crazy.
God, man, it's so introspective. And honestly, this album made me want to listen to some Notorious B.I.G. and Illmatic. I mean, it made me want to go listen to the greats. And if you're making me want to go listen to the greats to hear more of what you're putting out, you are one of the greats, in my opinion.
I agree, man. I agree. He's top 10 and he's not 10. So
right.
We'll get into that conversation some other time. I think that's all for this week. Did you have anything to add?
That's it for this week. I will add that I'm going to make my albums to add on a slow week in private, but I wanted to thank
Please
everybody
don't.
who listens. I wanted to remind you to subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like it. Make sure you at least listen to the music. I don't really care if you listen to us talk about it, but I want you to listen to the music and hear what new music is getting put out there.
You want to hear what new music's getting put out here this week?
I sure do, John. I'm sure you're about to tell me.
It's a weird fucking week, man. We got a new album from 070 Shake called You Can't Kill Me. That should be weird. We got a new album from Aaron Ray called Hello Poison, which was kind of just suddenly announced, although we've already covered 2 singles. I'm excited for that one. And we're going to be covering Post Malone's 12 Carat Toothache, which should be exciting for you and I both, my friend.
I gotta say, man, that's such a great album title. I don't know what else to say to that.
Yeah. I'm going in expecting a Machine Gun Kelly type thing, but I think you never know, man. This
I think
one,
he's gonna surprise us, bro.
I hope he does because it's going to be a slow week if he doesn't.
Well, I'm sure that there's a couple other things that I'll add to it. I'm sure we'll have something new to talk about.
Oh,
But
yeah, there's plenty of other singles coming as well.
yep.
All right, man. Well, it was great talking to you. I had a really fun this episode. Please tune in next week. We got some really big announcements coming. Hope you all have a good day.
Peace.